Welcome back, everybody. Derek Sue, your East Oakland advocate. Well, last night was the start of season 44 of Survivor. And it was a 2 hour beginning introducing our new players for season 44. And there are some big surprises. And what I have to say, this is going to be interesting. At the end of the show, as you know, there's always one person eliminated from a tribe. But here in the first case, uh, right from the get go on the first challenge, not an immunity challenge, but uh, uh, supplies challenge. It was the first one for the opening scenes, and we had an older person, a more senior person, Bruce, and he went and went for a dive underneath one of these obstacles and ended up splitting his head open, and he was in real serious condition. So uh, he was he ended up being medically removed from the game. So we're off to an interesting start. And then one of the big things about the first challenge uh, was the importance of working smarter and not harder. And so it becomes real apparent in the challenge. So be sure to watch that. I'm not going to spoil it for those of you that have not seen it. I wanted to let you know about Bruce because that one was an opening scene, and he was removed not too long after because of some complications that developed. And I also wanted to say that I was well, not a contestant, but a candidate for season 31 over 12 years ago, back in 2017. And so I didn't make the show, but it is very rigorous. There's a lot of background checks, and there's a lot of expectation. And uh, I essentially was removed from the game because of my background in counterterrorism and my extreme training, SEER training, survive, evade, resist, and escape. Because my specialized training, they said that gave me too much of an advantage over everybody else. We're not even talking about the social game yet. We're just talking about the physical and environmental knowledge that it takes to be on Survivor, because all of Survivor is shot on the Fiji Islands, and so you typically will see a low temperature of 90 degrees in the South Pacific there, and typically during the summer months, and they don't do the exact summer months down there because their seasons are opposite of ours. So that would be during the winter, and the summers are just beastly hot down there. We're talking 100 degrees when it cools down, and high humidity because you're next to the ocean. So it takes its toll on you. And if you're not prepared for those kind of environmental conditions, it can wear you out very quickly. And so uh, this is a real physical test. And like I said, I had everything in line. I had everything, including my passport to go to Fiji for the shooting of that episode. That was back in 2017, like I said. And it was a very extensive interview. We did it on Skype back then, and it was real interesting. But it did set me up, even though I didn't make that. It did set me up to be a possible candidate for other shows. And so those other shows did contact me. I applied for some and went through the interview process, and again came up just short of making the Fiji Islands on another version of, it wasn't Survivor, but it was called Lost. And that was an ABC special. Or no, it wasn't ABC. That was CBS. It was shot in the Fiji Islands through CBS. it was a later show that came on Wednesday night and after 10 o'clock. And so I was replaced by a New York person and who was younger than myself. So that was the only reason why I didn't make the show. Again, you know, when you get to my age, I'm 63, age becomes a factor. And the older you get, the less appealing to the general population you are. And so that's why they went with the much younger individual from New York who was in the same situation, who was homeless. And so that homeless individual got onto the show. That person was significantly younger than myself. But I'm at a point now where I just watch the shows because I know medically and physically I can't do and keep up with the demands of some of these shows. But last night's episode of season 44 of Survivor started out with a pretty serious injury to Bruce, and then it happened again to another person. You'll have to watch for that one, and they actually pulled their arm out of the socket but managed to get it back in. So watch for that, because you've probably seen it on the advertising, but you actually got to see it, what happens in real life, and the amount of injuries that was sustained. So thanks for joining me today. Hope you follow along with me for Survivor for the next few weeks as we progress through the show. Thanks for joining me. We'll be right back.